Barry is joining us from Wake Forest with a special guest. But we start with the Super Bowl rematch. Patrick Mahomes weighing in on facing the Eagles after an opening week loss. It's new on SportsCenter.
This is a really good football team. I mean, there's no way around it. They're good at every aspect on defense and obviously on offense as well. And it's going to take our best football. And so you learn from the mistakes that you make. That's part of playing the game. At the end of the day, you're going to have failures in this league. It's about how you respond from those failures. And that's something that's important in anyone's career. But for me, I got to continue to push to be even better so that I don't make those same mistakes whenever I get the opportunity to again.
All right, we say hello to our Chiefs reporter, Nate Taylor. So playing the Eagles on Sunday will not redeem the Chiefs Super Bowl 59 loss, but what's the feeling in the building about facing Philly?
Yeah, Christine, the Chiefs do want revenge. Let's be very clear about this. Patrick Mahomes told us earlier today that when he rewatches the Super Bowl, which he's done multiple times since February, that it sucked. So for the Chiefs, they need to understand that instead of going 0-2, they need to come out with more energy, something that they did not show in Sao Paulo against the Chargers, and they need to come out with an actual lead. Obviously, in the Super Bowl, they got down early, and that continued to happen during the game for a blowout. So for guys like Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, they call it embarrassing. For Mahomes, he says, hey, this is going to be an Arrowhead Stadium. This is going to be their home opener in week 2. Yes, it's a Super Bowl rematch, and no, you are not going to get a ring for this win. But the Chiefs do understand, based on what Patrick Mahomes told us today, that they need more energy, they need more focus, and they need to be very determined to not start the season 0-2 and get a little bit of payback against the Eagles.
All right, we'll see what they're able to do. Defending Super Bowl champions are 7-3 in the previous 10 rematches. Nate, thank you. All right, let's welcome in NFL analyst Mike Tannenbaum and Field Yates. So going into this rematch, we still don't know if Xavier Worthy will be available. If he's not on the field, Mike T, how does this Chief offense get going?
Christine, it really has to be through Hollywood Brown first and foremost. He had a big game the other day, 10 catches for 99 yards. And this is the axiom of not who you play, but when you play them. Because obviously Rashee Rice out with suspension, and Xavier Worthy, who had a really good game in the second half of the Super Bowl. If he's out, they just don't have a lot of explosive players. We're looking at Juju Smith-Schuster here. Very good player, not explosive. Travis Kelce, obviously a Hall of Fame player field, but he doesn't have the ability to get chunk plays down the field. So I think, to me, this is a Hollywood Brown game if Kansas City is going to be successful.
Yeah, they're going to need him to be. But their offense last Friday night in Sao Paulo was basically Patrick Mahomes as Superman. They get just 2 catches from Travis Kelce. They have a combined 6 penalties from their starting offensive tackles, including 4 on right tackle Juwan Taylor. Running game was ineffective. Their leading rusher was Patrick Mahomes. It felt like the game plan was there really wasn't a game plan. They got punched in the mouth early by that Chargers team that came out and was excellent all game, especially throwing the football against the Chiefs secondary. And it felt disjointed from Kansas City on Friday night. They got to find something in a hurry because falling 0-2 is disappointing. Don't forget that in week 4, they play the Ravens as well. So a difficult slate for Kansas City coming out of the chutes here.
Yeah, for sure. On the other side, Nick Sirianni spoke not long ago about facing the Chiefs once again. It's new on SportsCenter.
Anytime you watch a game that you have a good memory of, it does bring that, it can always bring them. We're human, it always brings that emotion back. But you're watching it for a purpose too. So I think it's possible to have the emotion, but it's not like I'm jumping up and down like when Smitty catches a touchdown. I'm not running down the sideline like I was in the game. It's a different type of emotion because I think you can have that and get the job done. I'd be just flat out lying if I said there wasn't any emotion when you watch a cool play from tape. And that's not just that game, but that's all the games.
All right, let's bring in our Eagles reporter, Tim McManus, who joins us from the team facility. So this may be a Super Bowl rematch, but the Eagles must be very glad that it's just week 2 because their secondary was not playing at a championship level against the Cowboys. So what is the plan moving forward?
Hey, Christine, I would say the plan is fluid right now. So the cornerback spot opposite Quinyon Mitchell was a concern all summer long, and that continued in the opener against Dallas. Adoree Jackson allowed over. Fangio said that Makuba was okay and that he had a couple of busts that really hurt us. So, he's looking for him to bounce back in a big way this week. But look, this is a different group than the one that dominated the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, limiting Patrick Mahomes to just 33 passing yards in the first half, a career low for him. So they're going to have to be better, even if the Chiefs are down a couple of receivers, to make sure that Mahomes isn't Mahomes.
Yeah, so certainly a lot of things that they have to clean up on defense. Tim, thank you. Okay, so let's continue the Eagles defense conversation with Mike and Field. So you heard Tim's report. Mike, what on defense is concerning you?
Yeah, Tim really talking about the back end. I'm really worried about the front end. You go back to the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes wasn't Patrick Mahomes because of that unbelievable Philadelphia Eagle pass rush. They lost Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, and Brandon Graham to retirement. And you look at those ends, Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt, they were largely ineffective.
Career, he was not blitzed once during a game. Why? Philadelphia could attack you from a bunch of different angles with just 4 rushers. That wasn't the case last Thursday night. It needs to be the case this Sunday, or else the Chiefs will exact a little bit of revenge.
Okay, let's talk about the other side of the ball, because offensively, Field, you saw some things that were concerning.
A.J. Brown, I didn't see him. That was the problem, right? Is that, listen, they won the game, and Saquon Barkley was brilliant, and he did Saquon in the game, by the way. A.J. Brown is one of the most explosive players in the NFL. You know why he makes $33 million per year? He's one of the best players on the Eagles roster. I get it. They're loaded. Great running game. Great offensive line. If you don't feed number 11, you are not going to have a chance to defend your title. Philly gets that. There have been games like this in the past, but we need to see more A.J. Brown on Sunday.
You mentioned how late in the game that was. He wasn't targeted until 1:51 left in the fourth quarter. That is the latest into a game that he went without a target in his entire career. So the Bears and the Lions, they face off on Sunday, marking Ben Johnson's first trip back to Detroit. Dan Campbell spoke about his former OC. It's new on SportsCenter.
I thought they played pretty fast. Those receivers were moving. I thought the shifts, the motions, I thought the O-line came off the ball. Swift ran hard. Quarterback played fast. I thought it looked really good, man. Looked pretty good. Which is what I would expect from Ben's unit. So, look, they get good players over there. And, he's got the system in, and it's about attacking the opponent. And we got good players over here, too.
Okay, so obviously Chicago and Detroit had their struggles in week 1. Without Ben Johnson in Detroit, are you ready to hit the panic button on their offense?
I am not ready to hit the panic button on their offense. Maybe I'm too lenient. I give grace to guys who have started 18 games in their career. That, of course, where Caleb Williams is at, right? I think this marriage is going to end up being a very fruitful one. The Detroit Lions. That one I am going to give some grace to as well. That might be the best defense in the NFL. The Green Bay Packers, it's on the short list at the very least. They're going to be able to attack from all sorts of angles, as we saw this past weekend. I felt like that was a classic game of a team makes a gigantic move, trading for Micah Parsons. They're playing at home. It's week 1. The emotions of that game carried Green Bay early and overcame Detroit early as well. The Lions have way too much talent. They got to protect a little better in the interior up front. This team's going to be okay.
That, to me, was what stood out. No Frank Ragnow, no Kevin Zeitler. That interior offensive line that's been so strong for them, to me, was the big difference of that game.
On Sunday, the Lions offense posted their fewest yards, points per play, and first downs in any game last season. So let's talk about the Chicago side of things. Obviously, Caleb Williams has a new head coach. They had only been together for, 5 months? What was your evaluation of Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson's offense?
There were reasons to be encouraged, Christine, but at the end of the day, he was still too inaccurate for an NFL quarterback, especially in the second half. Look, he got off to a great start, but you can't have this in an NFL game, especially when you get behind. Those are small window throws that the A quarterbacks complete. He's still a B. He's a work in progress. His footwork has to get tied much more consistently in terms of his mechanics, and when he does that, he has a chance to be a great player, but way too inconsistent in terms of where he could be.
Well, do you want to add anything? I know you went off on them.
I am going to give him a bit more grace. I think this trajectory for Caleb Williams has been sped up because of the fact that the player taken right behind him, Jayden Daniels, looks like a top 5 NFL quarterback already. I believe the ingredients remain for Caleb Williams to become an outstanding quarterback in the NFL. The first drive this past Monday night, I think, was reflective of that. It's going to take some time. I think he still needs to find a way. This is a very fine line as a quarterback. Be quick, but don't hurry. You got to process the game fast. These guys are bearing down on you in less than 2.5 seconds in some cases.
Yeah.
But you can't hurry because your footwork gets all out of whack. Bad footwork leads to bad quarterback.
I would also imagine there was so much going on in his head. He learned so much this offseason, so there was a lot for him to process. All right, guys, we're going to have some tea a little bit later.
I'm so thirsty.
The game film from week 1. It's new on SportsCenter.
It was maddening, the things that we were doing or weren't doing, so to speak. I don't envy anybody that's covering or any fan or anybody that is Dolphins because you're still living in a place that was embarrassing, as I said. Today, it's the starting process with the players of doing something about it.
For more, we welcome in our NFL reporter, Jeff Darlington. Jeff, what is the temperature in the Dolphins locker room coming off of Tua's obviously bad game and Tyreek's very visible frustration?
Well, I can certainly say that it's not upbeat in the sense that everybody is thrilled with the way week 1 went, not at all. But I do think that there has been sort of a projection that they recognize that this was 1 week and they have an opportunity to right that ship. I was talking to one person who said, it's not the first time that we've been down, and said we've got at least 17 more rounds to go. So this is a team that believes they've got an entire season in front of them to make this right. By all means, though, they also understand some of the desperation that comes with that type of performance. So Mike McDaniel is a very positive human, and I know people probably get tired of hearing him behind the podium days after the loss trying to sugarcoat things, but this is generally how he is. And I've seen many Dolphins coaches get beaten down by some of the negativity that can surround these types of moments. The question is, how does McDaniel handle this moment? We will obviously get a much better light of that when they do play the Patriots this weekend.
Yeah, you just mentioned it. On Sunday, they have a date with the Patriots and Coach Mike Vrabel, whose Titans teams gave Miami trouble in 21 and 2023. Jeff, thank you. It's time for Hot Tea with Mike T. He's going to get some hot tea.
The best quarterback in New York is Daniel Jones.
My goodness, this is piping hot tea.
The tea is for Trey Lance.
I'm going iced tea.
Iced venti soy chai latte. What time did you go to bed Sunday night? And that is hot tea.
Everybody get it? Got it? Good.
I feel like I'm in a cold tub here.
To the hot tea. There's one hot tea. Delightful.
Oh yeah, the tea was so good last season that we had to bring it back. It's time for Hot Tea with Mike T, Mike Tannenbaum, obviously. And new to this segment is Field Yates. So for those watching at home for the first time, Mike will give us his hot NFL take. If Field agrees, that's hot tea. If he disagrees, it's iced tea.
Nervous, but I'm ready.
You should be nervous. All right, Mike, your first cup of hot tea has to do with tomorrow night's matchup.
Yeah, Christine, this one's easy. This is the preview of the NFC Championship game. And Field, let me tell you why. Obviously, Washington has been there before. Jayden Daniels, full off season with Cliff Kingsbury. They had Laramie Tunsil, Josh Conley. But on the other side, the Green Bay Packers look unbelievable. Obviously, they have Jordan Love. They added Micah Parsons. And while I still respect what Philadelphia did, very concerned about a pass rush that didn't have any sacks. And when you look at Jalen Hunt on one side and Nolan Smith on the other, that is a big concern for me. This is the NFC Championship.
Okay, this is actually iced tea, Mike. I want to make sure that I start off strong here. It's iced tea because the Philadelphia Eagles are still in the NFC. Let's make no mistake about that. What impresses me about Philadelphia is that even in a night in which they have just one quarterback hit, no sacks, as you referenced, and A.J. Brown has just one catch, they still win a difficult game. Lombardi Trophy in February. The Commanders thought left something to be desired offensively. That Giants defense is legit. They found a way, but to me, not quite yet to crown them the best team in their own division.
Okay, so starting off strong. We're not cheersing on that one because that was iced tea.
Yeah.
All right, the next one is about a quarterback looking for redemption, Mike.
Christine, Daniel Jones through obviously just 1 week, comeback player of the year. When you look at this Indianapolis Colts offense, they have much better weapons than I think people realize. From Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, adding Tyler Warren from Penn State. They did not punt. I don't care if it's preseason, walkthrough, May, June, July, opening day, postseason. In the NFL, if you run an offense that doesn't punt, that is really remarkable. We've always had issues with his sacks. We've had issues with durability. But if Daniel Jones stays healthy, he will be the comeback player of the year.
All right, this is cold tea. It might be the coldest tea that you serve the entire year, Mike T, because it may be week 1. What's he coming back from? This is one thing I don't like about the comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
It's like we come back from narratives, right? Like Sam Darnold came back from being a backup. Daniel Jones comes back from what, football purgatory? Like he didn't tear his ACL last season or something, did he? Not to my knowledge, at least. I'm looking for players that are bouncing back from a major injury or some sort of adversity. So like the way that Daniel Jones played, I'm not buying him as a comeback player of the year candidate.
Yeah, what is he coming back from in your mind?
Well, inconsistency, obscurity, you know.
Yeah.
Everything that happened in New York.
Narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. The narrative.
I know what it's like to come back from some bumps in the road in New York. So maybe it was an empathetic.
Yeah, exactly. You just feel a little bit of empathy. Okay, so your last cup of tea has something. You have something to say about a team that's already benching their quarterback.
Jackson Dart, Christine, should be the starter for the New York Giants right now. And that is hot tea, that Field, I know you'll agree with, because He should have been starting in Green Bay when they announced his name in preseason. When you go back a year ago, Russell Wilson was sacked at a rate 31% over the average quarterback sack rate when he was with the Steelers. He is a skill diminished, athletically diminished player with no left tackle to speak of because Andrew Thomas is hurt. Jackson Dart's their future. Put him in. Live with the growing pains. He's much more athletic. The time is right now for Jackson Dart.
Yeah, this right here is hot seat. A good call by Mike T to sort of salvage the segment here as we cheer.
Cute. Oh my gosh.
He's pretty good too. I'm with Mike T. So to me, like, it's almost like the strongest argument against playing Jackson Dart right now is, hey, we paid Russell Wilson $10.5 million this offseason. Breaking news, it's a sunk cost. I don't care if he plays every snap for the rest of the season or 0 snap for the rest of the season. The money is already paid. The bill has been footed. Jackson Dart, I think, would make defenses play the Giants differently because he is an athletic threat. The Commanders just basically teed off on something. They said, we're going to rush him. What's the worst that happens? The answer is not a whole lot. Blake Neighbors had 12 targets, only 5 receptions because of the inaccuracy from Russell Wilson throughout the day. I think we're getting close to it. Like, the Giants are obviously going to keep Russell Wilson under center for this week, but it would not surprise me at all if by week 5 at the latest, Jackson Dart is a starting quarterback for the New York Giants. They get the Chiefs next week.
Yeah.
Not an easy test if they throw him into the fire against a team that's been to 5 of the past 6 Super Bowls. That being said, it's coming soon.
He gives them the best chance to win. So the bigger the competition, the bigger the opportunity. When we had Mark Sanchez at the Jets, we just threw him in the deep end. We called the game appropriately for a rookie quarterback, and we made the most of it, and it worked out for us.
All right, we'll see what happens. We get 1 cheers.
All right.
Team without Micah.
I mean, it did break my heart a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That's a picture from way back when. I am a diehard Cowboys fan, and it was sad to see Micah go. But I do believe this season is going to be special. You saw them debut Thursday Night Football. A couple of mistakes in the fourth quarter, but if it weren't to add George Pickens to the lineup as well, Javonte Williams had a great opening game at running back, so I'm really excited for the rest of the slate this season.
Yeah, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but as a CD fan, I was a little disappointed in his Game 1 showing, so I expect him to clean those things up as well.
So that might be his first target. I don't think it's going to be his last.
Play fake to McCaffrey. Now, Purdy. He'll be hit as he throws, and that one will wind up incomplete. Could not step into the throw that time. It'll bring up second down. Shotgun snap to Purdy. Hit as he throws, and it is incomplete. Just couldn't deliver that one the way he wanted to. Not really sure if there was much there anyways. We do know it'll be third down. Again in the air for Purdy. Has his man, it's Samuel. And he will score. Deebo Samuel. Touchdown, 49ers. A terrific play all the way around, finished off by the receiver, who not only made the grab, but Greg turned it up and takes it into the end zone.
And that's the tricky part, Mike, that transition from receiver to runner. And in this case, he does it flawlessly. Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then get upfield and get yourself in the end zone.
Now Jake Moody for the extra point. It's up and good. And the 49ers come right back to tie it at 7. Each team one possession, each team a score. 7-7 as they kick it off. But dangerous Mecole Hardman on the return. And he's brought down right at the 35-yard line. The Chiefs offense ready to see the football for the second time. We're trying to break out of this deadlock. We are all even at 7 as they start this drive, 1st and 10. The drive begins with a run by Pacheco. And nothing on that one. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it.
So often when it comes to safeties, Mike, we talk about their speed and their range, but for him to be able to come up and make a tackle and be physical at the point of attack and keep this ball carrier to no gain, that's pretty impressive.
He'll be hit as he throws this time, and it's going to fall incomplete. He might be fortunate just to avoid the sack, and it'll set up a third down. Out of the gun, here's Mahomes. That is caught. He gets the hook up with Rice. And they will bring him down on the other side of midfield. Mahomes finding Rice for the Kansas City first down.
This is clinic tape for any young wide receiver out there watching this guy run routes. He has the defender thinking everything is a go ball. Attack him vertically, and then when you get to your route depth, you stick that foot in the ground, you break in, balls on time, results in a nice first down pickup.
Play fake. Now it's Mahomes. And he can't hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be second down. To the air once more, it's Mahomes. Work in the middle of the field, but that is incomplete.
He decides to go with this safe throw and throws it well short of the sticks. And at this level, Mike, you just can't miss layups like that.
On third down, Mahomes. A ball deep for the end zone. That is going to be hauled in. He's got it. Hollywood Brown. Touchdown, Kansas City. Make it 2 touchdowns in the very first quarter of play. What an opening quarter he is having. Greg, that is 2 touchdown receptions here in the first quarter.
Mike, all this guy has to do is keep this pace up, and he's going to have himself 8 touchdowns. But in all seriousness, if I'm this quarterback, I'm not looking anywhere else until this defense proves they have an answer. Because right now, they don't have it.
Butker's extra point is good. And the Chiefs will move out to a 14-7 lead. So now it's Butker following the touchdown to send this one away. Samuel going to see what he can do. And he'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. 49ers offense about ready to get going on their second possession. They trail here by a touchdown as this drive will start with a first down. The NFL's leading rusher a season ago, Christian McCaffrey. He'll move it ahead for about 3 yards. Nick Bolton, the linebacker, there for the stop. 2nd and 7. From the shotgun, it's Purdy. Pass brought in by Samuel. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5. Now a 3rd and 2. They need 2. Here's Purdy. That's caught by McCaffrey.